Hi, welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can easily create over 400 pieces of content. There's two big problems I see at the moment and two things that people are talking about. One is coming up with ideas for content creation and how, keep coming up with content. How do I keep coming up with content on a daily basis? Because you've got to keep posting to Facebook, got to keep doing this, got to do that. And then what happens is they just kind of put on their daily tasks, do a new piece of content for Facebook, okay, and do a new piece of content, and then they just share that to Instagram. So it's the same content across the board everywhere as well. And that leads a little bit to the second issue and the second problem is, which is that because if you're doing it that way, if you're just going, right, today my daily task, I need to come up with a post for Facebook, or I need to do a LinkedIn article, I need to do because you need to do a bit of content on that platform. What happens is there's no content strategy there. Okay, so you're just coming up with content willy-nilly, and actually that doesn't help with people seeing you as the expert in your field, and that's where you can really struggle. And then you'll run out of content ideas because you're sitting there going, and you've done all these things about doing a content planners and downloaded all these PDF with content ideas, which basically are totally irrelevant because, in one way they're fantastic. You think, oh, here's a month's worth of content ideas. Here's a year's worth of content ideas. You download the PDF or you pay money to download this PDF. But the reality is that content ideas, yeah, you might go, right, okay, I'm going to do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or whatever, and you put it into your content plan. But actually, there's still no content strategy there around what the overall strategy. You're getting straight into the tactics of doing stuff and how you do it, with actually why and what you're doing it for. So that's the other biggest issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take you, I'm going to share my Trello board with you around my very own personal one of how I can create over 400 pieces of content. Okay. And this is from literally just 30 ideas as well. So if you're sitting there thinking, well, how can I come up with 400 ideas? It's just mental. You only have to come up with 30 ideas. And then what we're going to do is near the end of this video, I'm just going to actually then share with you 2 strategies that I do actually coming up with ideas. It's something that you can do on a daily basis that's going to always bring ideas of what content to do in your planet. And then you can just add it to your Trello board or your notepad, wherever you put it, and for future reference. And it's as simple as that. So let's go over to the Trello board then. Let me share this Trello board with you. Okay, so just go over to my screen and go over to my Trello board. And this is a board that I've pre-done, which I've just kind of taken a lot of the stuff out. So it's simplified it so you can easily understand what I'm trying to get across to you today. If you haven't used Trello but you're interested, Trello.com, a great tool. Not really the time to go into a whole Trello thing here, but it's fantastic because you can add checklists and stuff like that. So I kind of use this as a way of the implementation part of my marketing plan. And don't worry too much about the details on here at the moment around this episode's, because this was as I'm launching my podcast, I've just copied a board over, which includes it as a podcast series as well. So this is my marketing plan, if you like, the tactics plan, with also the podcast show part of it to make it easier. But I just want to give you an example really of so an idea. So where you come up with content ideas, and I say in this video, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to share with you how you can, if you struggle to come up with content ideas, what you can do on a small thing you can do each day that will help you just absolutely come up with ideas all the time. This Trello you can actually put on your phone as an app. Is free, and as you come up with ideas, you can just quickly plonk them in. So as I come up with little brain things, then I just put them in here. And this is not the full board. I've got a board here with it's got about 182 ideas on it. So, but this is the one for the current marketing plan. But I'll show you that in a minute on the video, and add a mindset shift as well that I learned from Robin Sharma, that is brilliant in terms of creating content ideas in the first place. So just to give you an example here, so and then I'll show you the maths if you like, and tell you the maths about how it works, how you can do over, because you're probably looking at this and thinking, but it's not over 400 pieces of content then. But this just gets really, really exciting. Okay, so there's an idea of that I thought I have about simplicity over complexity will win with your marketing. Okay, so there's a bit of content I'm going to create around simplicity over complexity will win your marketing, and that's just doing the simple stuff rather than complicate it and overcomplicate. And everything I do is around about strategies and how to implement them simply to get results fast. So then within this idea here, simplicity over complexity, so that's the headline of my content. That just last week there's just a lot of stuff, and I was just, and then I heard this phrase and something else, a similar sort of type phrase. I thought, well, actually, that's exactly what I kind of want to get across to people in a bit of content. So simplicity over complexity will win your marketing. So that was the headline, if you like, for the thought I had for a bit of content. And then we've got all of these ways. So first of all, there's a podcast recorded. So when I've recorded the podcast show for this, then I can just click it and I'll go, right, podcast show recorded. Okay. And then I've added a couple of bits of edited and uploaded, but don't worry about that moment. Just this podcast recorded. So that bit of headline now, in terms of creating content. So one of it is a podcast episode. Okay. Then with that podcast, when it's uploaded and it is shared on my Facebook stories. Okay, so I share that an image of it and thing on my Facebook stories. So now we're getting invited. This is getting into what we call tactics, so of getting that content out there. I'm then also going to do a sub 2 minute post on it. So I like doing little short videos around stuff. So on my Facebook business page, I'm going to do a sub 2 minute post on that. And that would literally just be with my phone somewhere, just going, right, okay, boom, 2 minutes. This is just an overview of what that means. Okay. Then once I've got that video on my biz page, I can then share it to my personal page. And then and there's another bit of content here, as you can say, about how to, or actually this is a tactic and use that we share. It's part of the training of the marketing monthly tactics master. So the marketing tactics mastermind is a monthly membership which is now open for enrollment. And one of the trainings in there is about how to get leads and clients through Facebook groups. But one of the things you're doing it is actually choose 5 Facebook groups. I'll give you a little bit of clue there. You choose 5 Facebook groups where your ideal clients are sitting and interacting. And then what you do is, so that Facebook post that I've created, sub 2 minutes on my biz page, and then can share it to Facebook group 1, share it to Facebook 2, 3, 4, 5 on different days, by the way, not all at the same time, but again, that's a different video at a different time. Actually, then you can do also as a Facebook stories as a quote. So you can just go over to canva.com, which is another great free tool, and just create a quote that just says simplicity over complexity will win with you in your marketing. And I can create that as a quote and just put it in my Facebook stories. I then can do, and this will be in line, so when I do the podcast recording of the show, the podcast recording, I'll record it as a video initially, and obviously, and then just take the audio out and do sub 10 minutes. So when I record the podcast, and also that content, so I haven't got to create loads more content, so creation, so that can go as a YouTube video as well, which is sub 10 minutes. I can then create a LinkedIn post around the same thing. So a LinkedIn post, I can just put simplicity over complexity and just a little description, and then a link maybe then to the YouTube video. And then also you've got the video, so you can then post the video up directly up into LinkedIn. I think doing sub 10 minute videos in LinkedIn is a pretty good strategy. sub 2 minutes on Facebook, sub 10 minutes on LinkedIn. We've kind of been, I think, working really well at the moment. And so again, you haven't got to come up with the content because you've created that. When you're doing the podcast, do it as so when you're calling the podcast, do it as a video, so you can take the audio out of it for your podcast, but then you can also use that for your YouTube video and also for your LinkedIn post. Then also the same post that we did for, the quote that we did for Facebook stories, you can do as an Instagram quote if you want to use Instagram as part of your marketing mix. And then also Twitter, if you're using Twitter or not. Again, people dismiss Twitter a lot at the moment. I think it's got pretty cool space at the moment if you use it correctly. And one of the things adding to the mix is actually just linking it to the YouTube. So again, just driving traffic to that YouTube channel is the next goal for this plan, if you like, for this marketing plan that we're putting in place, that I want to put in place now. I use it in a slightly different way. So again, I teach in the marketing mastermind is going to be part of that lesson, is how to use Twitter really effectively. I think it's quite an interesting space actually at the moment, but that's again a different video for a different time. So that one idea, and that one idea that just popped into my head from the method that I'm going to talk about in a minute, from that one idea, I then created 14 different bits of content. That's all the same content, but there's 14 different bits there, because this is going out to group 1 on Monday, group 2 on Tuesday, group 3 on Wednesday, etc. So there is 5 different bits of content there that you're actually sharing. Don't think that you've got to create all different pieces of content. It's about repurposing your content that you've got. And if your content is really congruent, and one of the things I would say is just coming up with content. There is, in my funnel coaching sessions I do, we talk about a really cool way about how to create content in a way that's really as a content strategy. This is more really about the tactics of how you get it out there. But that's quite a big piece of work. And, if it's something you're interested in, obviously then get in touch with me. But so there's 14 bits of content here. So then when you now go over to, ignore introduction, but you go over to here, and I've got 33 bits, because including these expert interviews that I've got ideas for again. And each one of them, again, don't post and ghost. There's all the check-off lists. So as I do one, I can do the check-off list. I can see exactly where I'm at. Also, if you want to outsource this to anyone, like a VA and stuff like that, really cool, because you can share your Trello board with other people. So really cool for doing work with a VA and a PA, etc. So I've got 33 bits, ideas here. And then take that 33, and then each one, there's 14 elements of content for each one. So when I times 33 by 14, I get 462. 462 pieces of content from 33 ideas that are in my head around thoughts. And if you're really even struggling to come up with 30, then I would suggest the funnel coach session is probably something really good for you, because again, we'll go through a method about how to come up with the 30 really easily, and in a structured way. But and if you think of even if you don't do weekends, and you post Monday to Friday, and you schedule it on something so you don't have a week off, if you like, don't take it. But 52 weeks times 5 days is 260. So you're not going to need many more ideas in here to get to the point where we're already at 2 pieces of content every day. And if you're doing 2 pieces of content every day, consistency is, and I've probably got that on there actually. And there you go. See, look, You see, ideas can come up when you think that, well, make consistency your superpower. I've already got it on there. Can't add one to it. But but consistency is, it doesn't matter if you're using one platform, loads of platforms, and you're only posting, if you're only posting once a week on LinkedIn, but you're posting 10-minute videos, sub 10-minute videos on LinkedIn once a week, and you're doing that consistently over a whole year, that's going to be incredibly powerful. So, but to get to the point where I need 2 bits of content for each day, I only need to get to number 37, 38, and then I've got 2 pieces of content for every single day of the year ahead. And you know what? Once you've done that, and this is, if you want to do more content, and you've got loads of ideas, then fantastic. I almost like to get to a point of, when we've done our other boards, actually get to 52 is quite a cool thing, because then things like your LinkedIn posts and your YouTube, Instagram as a quote thing, then sort of things, then it becomes, you're doing them every, you're getting literally one a week and getting real consistency of one a week, which is really good. So that's it. And then here, I just share this with you, saying there's part of the overall strategy, a little clue to kind of what we do in the funnel coaching stuff, is then big hook content strategies. So we talk about lead hooks, so these are all big pieces of content. So for example, this one, how to easily come up with 400 ideas, is this video at the moment. So this is a big piece of content that is, free, but so it's a hook to get people into your funnel, if you like. So like the 1-page content plan that we've done and stuff like that. If you're a coach, the free breakthroughs that help a struggling coach to get 15K. So these are bigger videos, and my suggestion is you've never got more than sort of 5 or 6 of these at any one point, really. But that's a different case of going into an overall strategy. Now, just stop my screen, come back to the full screen. The 2 things that you can do that really help you come up with ideas, if you're really struggling coming up with ideas, but this is how I come up with ideas all the time. And I say, there's another board that I've got, which has got 182 on it. Because as I come up with them, I've got Trello on my phone, and I've got it on my home screen to make sure that I can then just go boom and put it straight in. So the first thing is, and if you can do this on a daily basis, great, but even if you just do it once a week and get it into a habit of doing it, it'll become super powerful. But it's a phrase called always be learning. So I try to do between 30 minutes and 60 minutes now every day, and that's why I've been trying to up it by doing it every day, is learning in my field. So I will go and look at other people's webinars. I will, sign up for people's webinars and watch them when I've got my own time, if you like, but then take what I need from get it. I will look at people's websites in my industry. I will listen to podcasts, that are specific. So I'll I'll try and do my listening and reading. So listen to audio book for an hour a day, between 30 minutes and an hour a day. Either reading a book or doing an audio book. Then separately, I always think that's mindset stuff for me and growing me as a person. But then in terms of my field and in terms of coming up with content ideas like that, should have a little graphic, I can do it. But the content ideas is, then I'll do some 30 minutes of maybe listen to podcasts of people that are actually in my area of field. So people that are under marketing. So I'll quite often listen to an Amy Porterfield podcast or Gary Vaynerchuk. There'll be a certain amount of people that I listen to in my field and not necessarily famous people, even people I come across on Facebook here and there, whatever, but it's just that constant learning. And what happens is when I'm doing that, then I'm coming up with ideas. And it's just, so the simplicity without complexity was, I was listening to a podcast which went into about complexity, and I was thinking, wow, this is great, but my God, it's too complicated. You know, it's far too complicated. So it's got to be simple. And I just, you know, and then that part, I thought, oh, simplicity without complexity needs to be. And then, oh, that's a great title for a piece of content. Got my phone out, boom, went onto my homepage, went on my Trello because it's on my homepage, and plonked that in there. So that's a great way of coming. If you start listening to people in your field, it's not about copying their content. Is you'll come up with ideas about how you see it in a slightly different way, or you go, well, that's interesting. How can I share that with my audience? It's not about copying, but it's about being inspired by people with the thing. But if you come of it as you're trying to every day or even once a week spend an hour, you're learning about stuff in your field, then that's great. And the second part of that, the mindset mastery part of that, and I've got this from Robin Sharma from his mastery stuff, was that I can't remember the full quote about it, but it was it's about how top influencer that. It was always being a white belt. And what he meant by that was that if you act like you know it all and you can't learn anything of anyone, then you're going to struggle to come up with pieces of content. You're going to struggle to come up with influence people because you're never really learning and pushing yourself. So the mindset stuff around me going away and learning for half an hour is going, not watching something and going, I don't need to watch this because I know it all. Is I'll still watch it because if I can take one little nugget out of there, it gives me 14 pieces of content. Okay, so that's the way I look here. So my mindset shift is that I'm always, from the Wami Sharma sort of thing, analogy is I'm always a white belt. I'm never a black belt, never a master. I'm always learning, and there'll always be, you know, levels of learning that you'll get to, and you'll get to, and you'll get to. There'll always be another level, and if you can put yourself into that mindset shift of that, then that's a pretty cool place to be. And so that's my 2 tips around that. So I hope this has helped. It's about going away and implementing stuff. If you're still really struggling it, one of the things that is open now, and as I'm recording this, I've just opened it for enrollment, is and I can share my screen again with you is the Marketing Tactics Mastermind. There's a monthly membership which is open up for enrollment from 6th of July, but at the moment, before 6th of July, there's a lifetime access bonus, if you like, for people that take that leap of faith right from the start. So if you're still really struggling with this, there's this one-time payment, which gives you lifetime access to all of the membership for life. But part of it that I've included is the one-to-one marketing coaching service that I do, which is 3 hours over 3 1-hour sessions, which is £300 itself. So in effect, you'll get the lifetime membership for absolutely for free. So that's over at marketingtacticsmastermind.com. So you can look at that. So if you really need help, you're really struggling with this, then that'd be my if you like, my recommendation. Obviously I'm biased, but that way you get the coach session where we can sort out all your content, give you the bigger strategy content, which is a simple way of coming up with the first 30 in a really congruent strategy that's really effective for delivering leads and delivering clients, and having your funnel all in a proper place as well. And as a bonus, you get all of the marketing masterminds, and part of my, even then things as we go into coming up with ideas for the marketing mastermind, for the membership thing, is there's a detailed version on all this. So even that's just content. There might be 2 minutes, 10 minutes. There'll be like a 20-minute, 30-minute version in the marketing mastermind. And we're always adding courses in there. There's also the 18 modules of how you can create a marketing plan, which is pretty cool. So go and have a look if there's something you want to look at. Hope this has helped. And as always, any questions, then get in touch and I'll be happy to answer.